This video is brought to you by Dr. Kristen R. Bromley's Guitar Method Book Series and Online Music Academy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. It's so great to have you joining me here in these online lessons. In this video, I'm going to explain dominant 13th chords, and I've got a couple of voicings that work really well for this type of chord up here on the board that I'll go over. And then, of course, we'll jam together on a chord progression that allows us to practice these voicings in all 12 keys. And we'll be doing that right along with bass and drums accompaniment, so it's going to be great. This video accompanies lesson 25 from my Chords and Harmony Books 1 and 2 method book. In the book, we're going to start on page 173 as I explain these types of chords. Over on page 175, you'll see some chord diagrams, including what I have up here on the board. And then we're going to jam together on a chord progression from page 147. It'll be chord progression number 2. Okay, so what are dominant 13th chords? Well, in the last video, we learned about dominant 7th chords with the sharp 11. So we've been learning about these colors even since the last series of videos that went with lesson 24 in the book. We've learned about major 7th chords, minor 7th chords, dominant 7th chords, major or minor major 7th chords. So we've learned about these types of 7th chords. We've got 4 of them. And now we've been working on how we can add colors on top of those 7th chords, 9ths, 11ths, and 13ths. So with the dominant 7th chords, we've learned about adding a 9th, we've learned about adding a sharp 11, and now we can also add the 13th, which is the 6th step of the scale, 1 octave higher. So in the key of C, for example, well, a C7, we would say, we would have the root, the 3rd, the 5th, the flatted 7th. That's where our dominant 7th chord comes from, that Mixolydian mode, that's the sound. So 1, 3, 5, flat 7. Then our 9th is there, and then we could have the sharp 11, as we learned about, and then we have the 13th. Now on the guitar, it's really rare for us to play a voicing that includes all of them. It's just not possible to have 7 notes unless you have a 7-string guitar for starters. So some get omitted, usually the 5th, and then some of the colors. We need the root, we need the 3rd, we need that flatted 7th. So we're going to have those in there, and then we could have the 5th or 9th or sharp 11 or 13. When we're playing a 13th chord, of course, we need the 13th to be there. But the 13th implies that we can have the sharp 11 or the 9th to go with it on this chord, and we could have the 5th, but we probably have to omit it. The 5th and the 13th are usually found on the same string, as the 5th and the 6th are next to each other in a scale. So that's why we really can't play the 5th with these in our actual voicings, but in theory, they are part of the chord. Okay, so there's a little theory. The chord symbol for these is going to have the 13 replaces 7. So just like the other chords we've been working on, when we have a 7th chord that we're adding these colors to, which is what this chord is, then that 13 just replaces the 7 in the chord symbols. So if we saw C13, we would play a C dominant 7th chord with the 13th as part of it. We've also been learning, though, how we sometimes play songs where the chord symbols are simply written at the 7th level, and we choose if we want to add extra colors like the 9th, 11th, and 13th. So that becomes our prerogative. So we may see it either way, but you're going to see examples there on page 174 of chord symbols that have the 13th in place of the 7. So anytime we see that 13 next to the root, it's telling us it's a dominant 7th chord with the 13th added. Okay, so let's look at these voicings, and we'll start off by playing a C13 actually, because we're going to play this form in that key. But we've got 2 forms up here, a 6th-string form and a 5th-string form. Of course, the 6th-string form has the root on the 6th string, and the 5th-string form has the root on the 5th string. Whatever pitch we put that finger on, the finger that's playing this spot, that's going to be the version that we're playing. So we're going to stick this for the 6th-string form at the 8th fret, so we'll be playing a C13 here. Then in the same fret, with our middle finger 2 strings higher, we're going to play, and then 1 fret higher with our ring finger on the next string, and then our pinky's going to play the top 2 strings, and we get a C13. For this voicing, the 9th has been added on top. You could also play it without that top string, so just mute the top string, and you'd have just the 13th added to the dominant 7th chord. So you can play it either way. Both are gorgeous, might just prefer one over the other in a given moment. So that's pretty cool. Let's look at the 5th string form. We'll do this one off the F pitch on the 5th string, so we'll stay in the same position pretty much. We'll put our middle finger on that root, Index finger 1 fret lower on the next string, and then ring fingers got to play in the same fret as our root on the second and third strings. Pinky reaches 2 frets higher on the top string to play the 13th up there. So if I demonstrate this here, we have this one. Now this one does have the 9th in there on the 5th string. You could skip over that string to keep the 9th out of it, but it sounds really nice to have it in there. So these dominant 13 chords also include the 9th, which is a great sound. You may just want to go back and forth between them as you get going, getting comfortable with going from one to the next. To help us master them here in the video, we're going to go ahead and jam on the chord progression number 2, which is found on page 146. Now with this chord progression, it's just written out with the 7th, not 13th. We're plugging in these 13th chords to play with that chord progression. So we'll start off with that C13, then we'll go to F13, then B flat 13, then E flat 13, A flat 13, D flat 13, up to G flat 13, then we'll do the B, then the E, then the A, then the D, then the G, and we'll be back to C. I'm just going to use the do dot string pattern we've been using lately. You can use whatever you want, but keeping it simple is a great idea because it allows you to focus on changing chords. And you may just want to practice going from one chord to the next before even jamming along. But we're going to jam on this together with bass and drums. We'll do it at 3 tempos. First a slower tempo, then a little bit faster, and then even faster yet. So 3 tempos to practice this at. And I will mention that if you want to jam on more chord progressions using these chords than we have, all the chords taught in lesson 25, those voicings can be used to play any of the chord progressions in lesson 22 in place of just using the 7th chords without any of these colors on. So you can practice along even with the videos that were recorded for lesson 22, plugging in these voicings instead of the voicings taught there. So that's a way to get some more practice right along with me here on these videos if you'd like to. Let's go ahead though and jam together on this progression. Alright, awesome. In the next video, we're going to take a look at minor major 7th chords that have the 11th. So minor major 11th chords. It's going to be great. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And be sure to check out more great content. You can find more information about me and my products at KristenBromley.com. Take care.